Hello there, beautiful human. Thanks for clicking on our interview with Dillon Francis. He has a brand new album coming September 28th. It is called Wut Wut. It might be out now. Listen to it. We'll put a link in the description. He's a good man. Like, it's so much fun. I listen to this interview, watch it, enjoy it. You're going to get to know him, and you're going to get to know a lot behind this album, which, by the way, is an all-Spanish album. If you have thoughts, leave them in the comment section below. It'd be really nice if you subscribed, and we have a podcast. Take us with you on the go. Link in the description below. Okay, enjoy.
Let's do this.
We got Heather, we got
Hi.
Dan, and we welcome Dillon Francis to the studio. By the way, you can move pillows however you want, or get
Should I go from both to both mics? Wait.
Oh, that's whoa, Heather, hold on. Yeah.
Hey. This one. I like this one. Whoa.
Is that your sound check when you tour?
That was my sound check, yeah. Hey. I do the fawns. Hey.
One time at a show, and it just made me think of it. I was at this random show that Sean Kingston was supposed to show up at and never did. And the way they would sound check for him, a guy would go up, right? Grab the mic, jump up around stage, and then go, "Hoo! Fire, burning," and that's what they would do.
Wait,
I watched it.
So that means that there was a tracking track, and that's where he says fire and burning.
Wow.
Shooting on the burning on a dance. Fire!
By the way, Sean Kingston never showed up for that performance at Nassau Coliseum. Oh no!
Is it because he got into a fight? I remember that fight that he had with Soulja Boy.
Real intense,
Right? Or was that something like that?
That was him. Sean Kingston's had a lot of ups and downs, some trauma in his life. Wow.
I remember playing that. It was called Fire, right?
Fire burning?
Yeah, was it Fire Burning?
I think it's Fire burning.
Dance floor. Fire burning up the dance floor.
I remember playing that when I used to work at Dre's in
Vegas.
Yeah. Don't worry, to my Wynn residency, I'm not talking about currently.
Steve Wynn.
This was when I was like 8. Yes.
Steve Wynn can't see, but he can hear.
Well, he's gone.
I know.
Yeah.
But, you're right. You got a new boss.
He can't see or he can't. It's very true, man. Very true. Every time he's a weird dude. I never met him.
Would you watch him at your set?
No, well, when you walk into the hotel rooms, they used to have him playing where he's like, "Come on down to the Esplanade. We've got a lot of nice Gucci stores.
Really
you can go to the clubs to see some great." He's
really
just
tempting.
Yeah, you're like, "Oh, this sounds really fun."
So I've met him a couple times, and when he would speak to you, your face is my microphone, and then I'm Steve's face. He'd get like this.
Oh, so he's Little Xan.
Oh my!
He's doing the.
Feel his breath on you.
Oh, that's terrible.
It was like he was smelling you.
I don't like that. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
What do you think of Lil Xan right now?
I love him.
You cool? Would you work with him?
Yeah.
I know what is all Spanish, and I don't think Lil Xan speaks that, but
I mean,
Diego might.
I'm not only doing music in Spanish, but I mean, this is just like a fun concept album for me.
Can we let's dive into it, because it's in fact, like, when did you first? It goes all the way back to when you first started, right? It's this whole genre of music that you ended up pretty much creating, Moombahton.
I didn't create it, but I appreciate that.
Yeah, I did. It was me.
It was Heather.
Yeah.
She did it.
I did it. So don't
Do you
give
want to tell the
credit.
origin story?
No, I'll let you do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's humble.
Yeah.
I'll probably mess it up, and my bad if
That's
I
all right.
do.
Totally cool. You're the guest.
But my friend Dave Nada, he did this thing called a skipping party, and a bunch of friends from school. It's where you skip school and then you go to a friend's house in their basement and drink 40s and listen to music.
That sounds so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there's this record called Moomba that Afrojack had remixed, and it was at like 128 BPM. And he's like, "Man, all these kids are like, all these Mexican kids are not going to really like this. They're like, it's too fast. They're not gonna like this music. They listen to all punk music." So he's like, "Man, maybe what if I put it at like this tempo down to 110?" So he put it to 110 or 108. And when he played it, all these kids were like, "What is happening? Oh my God, this is the coolest thing I've ever heard in my entire life." And then that's how the genre was born. And I heard that, and then I started getting into it. So it's basically like from him slowing down that record, it was like, oh, this is reggaeton meets dance music. And then that's how it became Moombahton, because it was Moomba and then reggaeton.
That speed change can change the entire genre of music?
Yep. That's what happened.
Wow.
That's how it exploded. And people like, because when I first heard it as well, I was like, what tempo is this at? I've never heard any dance music made in this tempo. I've heard stuff at 140 and I've heard stuff at 128 and a little tiny bit slower, but it was like unheard of at the time to do that.
In KK, that's the name of the song, right? That was the first record of yours that really had moombah and that gets you the Diplo, obviously, too.
Yeah, that was that, and that's what the album's name is after is because that was like the first song.
Cool.
So
I just wow.
Yeah,
That's how it goes.
Isn't it funny that it's in English? Name a Spanish language album in English.
What? How proficient are you now in this language?
I definitely understand way more. I'm not good at speaking Spanish yet. I want to get there. I was trying to do like Rosetta Stone while working on the project, but there's this thing that I always say when everyone asks me like, do you speak it well? And I'm like, no, actually, like the reason I wanted to do it so much was one, I was super inspired by going back to like making this rootsy quote unquote moombah tone, but also that I was removing myself from any of the lyrics. So none of the artists could come to me like, hey, do you want me to say this or do you want me to say this? It was more up to them, and I could be like, hey, melody-wise, I want it to sound like this, because that's what I'm way better at. I've been in sessions where I'm with English-speaking artists, and they'll come to me and ask me like, hey, do you think I should say this? And I'll be like, yeah, or this, or something else. And then I'll listen back and be like, why did you listen to me? Man, you shouldn't ask me what to write about at all.
So how does this all start? Does it start with you having these sounds and this production in your head and then putting that into like a tangible piece of audio and then giving it to artists and saying, can you now write for this?
Yeah. That's so what happened was in November, I think it was November 2016. November 2016. I went to the Latin Grammys. I met a couple people there, De La Ghetto and this guy El Guincho, and this guy Toy Selector was introducing me to them, and that's kind of where the project started embarking. And I deep dove into De La Ghetto's music and started listening to a lot of Latin trap, and that's how I found out about Archangel and Bad Bunny, and then a lot of the other artists that are on the album. And but I had some instrumentals done, and then I just kept kind of making more and sending them to Toy Selector, who was passing them out to people and being like, hey, do you understand the project? Because it's not regular reggaeton, you know. It's definitely you got to kind of convince someone to be like, oh, okay, cool, I'll try that since it's so different for me.
I feel like none of this is normal, right? Like even the idea of like, dude, like you're born and raised in LA. Your parents are in Spanish, right?
No.
Are you?
I'm a white boy.
No.
I mean, my mom is from Yugoslavia. She was born and raised in Yugoslavia before Serbia and Croatia broke up, which has nothing to do with Latin America.
No.
But
You could be further.
of European descent.
There you go. You got a little something in there.
Got a little something.
Have you found your father yet?
Yeah, no, he's
People wonder.
He's been there the whole time. I feel so bad that I made that. That was like a joke of the internet, and a lot of people took it so seriously that I didn't have a dad. I feel bad for the people that don't have a dad.
You should.
Because I did
That's
that.
terrible.
You know,
We're not laughing at that.
No, I know.
No.
I know you're laughing at the realization of me being like, man, that was kind of messed up.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Was your dad really an alternative medicine doctor?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
He's over what is it? He's over in like Santa Monica area.
What kind of like what does he do? What's his specialty?
He's acupuncture, diet,
Cool.
herbs. He makes all of his own herbs and.
Oh. Was he like forcing you like, you know, eat bark when you're younger and like do crazy things?
So interestingly enough, there's like a lot. He did do a lot of like fermented. There are these like herbal fermentation cans that you can use, and you have to ferment them for a certain amount of years.
Did
and
your
then, like,
dad create kombucha?
No, but he was on it before everybody else was.
Cool.
But he had like, so all that stuff just tastes like Jägermeister to me. So,
So is that what you were drinking?
I mean, no. Well, that's why I don't mind drinking Jägermeister, because it tastes like all the herbs I took when I was growing up.
Like, was he giving you this
Which
drink?
could mean that my dad was getting me drunk all the time
No,
to make me go to sleep.
he made a habit easier to form.
Yes,
Right? He
alcoholism.
got your taste buds ready for it.
Yeah, he's like, oh, okay. You know what? He's gonna love Jägermeister
Cool.
He really, I mean, are you healthier because of it, you think?
now. Yeah, I mean, when I was growing up, we were just talking about this in the car, where like I wish my dad would have let me try everything, like cereals and whatever other candy, because when I would go to my friend Dean's house, I would house 2 boxes of Captain Crunch or whatever he had in his cupboard in one day.
You were the friend the mom hated because you ate the food.
Because she'd be like, oh man, I gotta go to the market again to get some more Captain Crunch. Are you kidding me? This was for 4 kids, not just one child that's not mine.
They don't own.
Yeah.
Were you really not allowed or didn't curse until you were 15?
Yeah. I didn't know any curse word. I wasn't like exposed to it.
How does that intensive sheltering happen? I feel like you would be subject to it navigating the halls of school, but I mean,
I went to a lot of like Catholic schools. I went to Berkeley Hall, Laurel Hall. Yeah. Well, Laurel Hall's in North Hollywood, so don't at me.
lower your
pinkies up over there, sir.
Lower your pinky.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first curse word?
I think. I mean, it was probably.
Cool.
Yeah,
it was
nice.
probably.
What's
Yeah.
your favorite curse word? Yeah, it's good.
For sure.
It bites, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's the good one.
Yeah.
Do you remember how you learned? Like, were you that kid who was like, "Hey, dude, what is?"
Maybe going on to the AOL dial-up, waiting for whatever. What would Wikipedia be back then?
Ask Jeeves.
Ask Jeeves. It was. What was before Ask Jeeves though? I think it was Yahoo Search or something like that.
Yeah. I think Yahoo still existed around.
I
Ask
probably.
Jeeves time.
I think that's what I searched most of my stuff on the internet for, was to learn all that.
What does mean?
It's poop.
Yeah.
It's a, poop.
Poopy.
Yeah, it's a poopy.
It's so cute.
Did you have a weird? Speaking of cute, did you have a weird relationship with Sesame Street?
My dad made me watch an hour of Sesame Street every day so I could watch normal TV.
Until you were 15?
Not until I was 15. No. That would be so sad.
Yeah.
Man, that Oscar guy. You guys want to talk about it? Everyone would be like, what are you watching, man?
Did you bond with these puppets? Because I loved.
I hated it. I hated it. I sat there with my eyes closed, waiting for the hour to be over so I could watch normal cartoons, like, or Power Rangers or whatever I was watching at the time.
Dylan, you could have soaked in some really great life lessons.
That
Zach just has a weird obsession with puppets. He was,
I know.
he was probably hoping to bond over that.
Well,
so you probably crushed him right
I
there.
loved the
music
video
video.
did with Panic and Brendon.
Brendon Urie is so hot.
I produced that song. I just want to say that.
Yeah, let's just, yes.
Thank you.
Clap for yourself. You really did it, bro.
Thank you.
It's pretty cool.
I'm just so stoked because I'm such a massive Panic at the Disco. Like, I'm a stan. I am a full-on stan of Panic at the Disco, so it's always so weird when I hang out with Brendon because I don't want to like
be weird.
I don't want to be weird, but I think he's such an artist. He can backflip on stage. He can hit the highest notes ever. He can play piano. He's so good at fan interaction. He's such a special human being. So it's just incredible to be around him and then him to be like, yeah, you want to make a song on my album? I'm like, I've been wanting to forever. And it's like, it's just really cool to like, I don't know. It felt really special to me to be able to do that.
Why do you think they've been around for so long? Like, what's kind of like kept their success going, and not just going, like rising consistently?
I don't know.
I would say Brendon.
I would say Brendon.
Yeah, Brendon. Yeah, you're right. Actually, because he's the only.
But
he's the last member.
Disco, yeah.
Is it? He's changed what he's done over the years, but it's always been rooted in that same kind of sound.
I listen to. So I mean, I always listen to. Like, I have an emo playlist.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, exactly.
We all do.
Especially now.
Yeah. we need it now more than ever.
Yes. A lot going on.
A lot going on. But I'll always go back to that and I'll listen to, like I Write Sins, Non-Tragedies and a Fever. That was from A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. Yeah. And then, why am I forgetting the name? But all the songs are named in such a weird way. But the way that he sings them, he's always sung in like this weird, almost musical theater way.
Yeah.
And it stayed true through everything. And the way that he lyrically chooses things is so interesting always. And especially with this last album, I was listening to the whole thing and I was like, man, my song sucks compared to a lot of like High Hopes is incredible.
Yeah.
And all the melody lines, and you can tell that from Kinky Boots, he's like really gone into the musical theater stuff, and it's so good.
And as you're talking, that's the realization that happens in my head is like the one thing that has not changed is his voice. So
Yeah.
there's people out there, right, that people say, and I think a lot of people can agree that their voice is a genre in and of itself. Like that's Sam Smith's goal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is it's the most recognizable thing, period.
But do you need a star vocalist to make a hit song?
I think the Lean On is kind of the song that'll that trumps that, because Mo, I don't know how much she was putting out before that. That was the first time I'd ever heard of her, and I don't want to say like that she hadn't been working for 3 years or anything, but that wasn't like that wasn't a Sam Smith vocal or an Adele vocal or. And
there's a lot of moments like that, right?
Yeah.
Where like, and Diplo said the same thing when he was here, right? And he's everybody's done songs with unknown vocalists, and those you don't need it because there's so much more that is a song.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you're proving too. You're able to make music and tell a story without even fully understanding lyrics. Like I'm trying to really wrap my brain around how you work, because doesn't production match the type of story you're trying to tell, or does the story need to match the pace of the production?
My thing was just making a cohesive album that made sense sonically throughout it. And that's why I there's a lot of songs that didn't make the album just because they didn't sound right and they didn't have the right tone, or the lyrics didn't kind of sound the same together. I did read, we got them all transcribed, and I read through a lot of them. I think the only song that really stands out that's different from all the other ones of what what they're talking about is the song "Ven," because it's very explicit.
What's it saying?
It's talking about a lot of sex stuff, a lot of things going places and going in and out of things.
Sweet, bro. Nice.
Nice. Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, bro.
It's yeah, but all the other ones are very loving songs. Like "We the Funk" is about finding a girl that you really want to go and either at a party in the street, or you can take her anywhere, and you want to take her with you wherever you're going.
Why is this the right time for a project like this, and why is it the right time for you to go back to Moombahton?
I don't know. I mean, I started the project in 2016, and it's very serendipitous that a lot of Despacito and Mi Gente had happened, but I was just going back and trying to pay homage to the music that is what Moombahton is from, and to use my platform to really push these Latin artists that aren't in the U.S. market, that I actually was wow, because I went and worked with every single one of them. Residente was one of my favorite people I've ever worked with. Just an incredible artist, incredible person. What he does for Puerto Rico is incredible, and just the nicest people. When we were in the studio in Miami, he's just he's so cool. He had all of his friends coming over drinking beer, and we were all just having a great time. And it's just it's that fun vibe that when you're making music, there's really no other cares, and you don't feel like you're sitting there and you have to prove something, because it's fun. And that's kind of what I wanted to go back to the project. I didn't want it to be like this, guys, I've put my blood, sweat, and tears into this, and oh my God.
It's my magnum opus.
Yeah, exactly. This is just I had so much fun working with these artists. Whatever happens with the records happens, and it was just incredible to take this journey, because I travel the world. Thank God that I get to go to, South America, to Europe, and see all these places and see all these people and meet them and shake their hands. And, I've got to see a lot of culture. And I think that's why Diplo and I are one and the same, is I love going and exploring these places and exploring the music, because music is such a crazy connector. And especially being a dance music artist, I never needed to understand lyrics ever. I've listened to songs mainly for instrumentals because I'm a producer. So for me, their voices are just another instrument.
And do you use them that way?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's how I would tell a lot of people. That's why I loved going to Dominican Republic, because I feel like the Spanish there is way more percussive. And the way that they speak is it's just very on beat. And then same with Residente, the way that he speaks Spanish, and the way that he's able to rap, he raps in almost like an off kilter like triplet cadence, but it's not. It's so bizarre. Like where I'm like, wait, how are you able to do that? How do you know to be able to like hit this right and it won't mess up someone trying to dance to this song? And he does it. He does it
That's
perfectly.
really impressive.
Yeah.
So do you match him in that moment, or
No.
no? He matched
He
you.
just does
He
it.
matched me.
Yeah.
He matched me. Yeah.
Wow,
That's cool.
So
Yeah.
do you set a different goal for every song you're trying to make? Like, how does it start for you? Like, do you hear something in your head and then sit down at a computer, or?
Yeah, I'll be inspired. I'll be inspired by something and just start writing a song. And it'll either be a chord progression with a drum beat on it, or it'll just be drums. Like there was a certain song that didn't make the album actually, but it was originally written just to strictly a drum beat with a weird synth on it. And then after she wrote it, I was like, oh man, this would be great to put chords underneath it. And then putting the chords underneath it actually turned it into an even better song. So it'll happen either or.
Got it.
Yeah.
So what inspired the song? What is it? Look at that butt.
Look at that butt. Oh man.
Was there a
so the sample, this is great. So I was in Mexico City at a writer's camp, and Look at That Butt had no synth on it. It had just the like guitar pluck and the little voice and that says "Look at that butt," and I played it for Jarena, and she's like, "Oh, this is incredible! I love this." And I was like, "Yeah, we should talk about how," because in Dominican Republic, a lot of the dudes are very aggressive with catcalling. Because the song was originally called Cat Call.
Okay.
And this is before she was on it. And I was like, we should do one where it's you talking about how your mom gave you this body, and you're wearing the clothes you're wearing, not for the world. You're wearing it to be proud for your heritage and for your mom, giving like for the genetics.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so the whole song is about that. And then that's how we kind of came up with it. And then
good
she wrote all
message.
the lyrics, but
So who is that saying?
look at that butt. Some
Yeah.
random sample.
Oh.
There was a part at the end. There actually was a middle section where we got our friend, what's his name, El Medico. We got him to say a bunch of Dominican like pickup lines. My favorite one was, "Ma'am, go with God. Your daughter can come with me."
I like that.
Yeah,
That might get me.
there are some crazy ones that I heard from them
Wow.
that were just like, whoa, you know what? That's okay.
It's actually kind of beautiful.
Yeah, and then there was a part at the end where I was screaming, where I was like, "Hey ma, oh wait, what is it? Do you need? Oh yeah, hey ma, do you need an inhaler because you got that ass? Or wait, no, hey girl, do you need that inhaler because you got the ass, ma?"
Yeah.
Good.
And then we decided to take it out because I felt like it took a little bit away from the song.
Well, with a song like that, I had no idea what that meant. All I knew was look at that butt. Then you watch the music video, and I'm reading the comments. People are like, "What the hell is this? This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard and seen." But I love
There
it.
were so many angry people because we made a Fortnite music video with the emo dances.
But then you just
Oh,
like
it's
kind
fun.
of come dancing through
Yeah.
it, and people are like, "What is going on here?"
Well, that music video was an homage to KK as well, because if you watch KK, what we're doing in the video has nothing to do with what the song is about. Like, we made the video about having to have your eyes crossed the whole time, and in the song, KK means just what. So it doesn't. Anyways,
There's no. I mean, you are telling a story, but you're taking different random pieces
Yes.
to put it out there.
yes.
Which is cool because I think there's a lot more interpretation that goes on there.
Yeah.
Whether the interpretation leads to anything fruitful or some like breakthrough or whatever it is. I mean, you think about it.
Yeah.
You are. I mean, is it a branding thing? Because you're a funny guy. Like that Fortnite thing.
I just love having fun, man. That's it.
You're
I
in
just
touch
love
with
making people
culture.
laugh.
Do you think people take it too seriously? Because you seem like you just have fun if it's a joke, and people are like, "What the f-? You're like, whatever.
Yeah.
It's fun for me."
I don't care. They hate it.
Perfect.
I would love pissing off all those gamer kids. I loved seeing their comments of like, cringe, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. Oh my God, Fortnite dances. I'm like, I don't care. Whatever, dude. This is so, as long as it's fun for me, I feel like some person's going to like, if I have 10,000 people that are on my side and think it was fun, I think that's a win. And if they're like going to be fans of me, then there you go. That's all that really matters, is like the good core group that gets my humor. Because I don't want to change for somebody.
No.
I love making jokes. I love saying the F word. I love, making people laugh.
And I also think that that's the only way you actually genuinely succeed is by being yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Especially nowadays. Like I feel like that's what anyone that's on the internet really wants to see. I think with any like celebrity person
Agreed.
or pop artist or anything,
Yeah.
they want to see that like true gritty stuff and just be talked to normally.
maybe we have left the era of like untouchable diva, you know? Madonna never tweeted or, you know.
I think we have, for sure. I think that the sign for me that made it seem like that is when Drake started playing Fortnite with Ninja. That's such a weird move for a rapper to do.
But from a mainstream standpoint and from where he wants to get to and becoming a part of culture and fueling culture,
Yeah. But I mean, he's now been using social media more and more. I think people are starting to realize that like that's the way to galvanize.
you have to.
Yeah.
I mean, you were a Vine star at one point, weren't you?
Yeah, I mean, I loved Vine. I wouldn't say star.
Meowskowitz.
Oh, we
or
will.
Meowski. Sorry.
Meowski 666 is the worst song. Oh my god. I'm glad you know that. Oh my god. And then you've heard Dolphin on Wheels, right? Yeah, don't listen
I haven't.
to it.
Can you sing that one for us?
It's just dolphin noises. Well, actually, I can sing it for you. The beginning starts out like this. Did you have a good Christmas? No. Do you love your mommy? No. Do you love your daddy? No. Do you love your grandparents? No. What do you like? I really like dolphins. And then a dolphin noise starts building
Nice.
up. And then it says dolphins. And then there's dolphin noises happening on like a BMR beat. That was for Kill the Noises album. I don't know what we were thinking.
Like, it's not disturbing, but if you think about it, it really could be.
It's disturbing. Well, I play it when I'm doing like the pool parties in Vegas, and I always like to look around to see like what person's being like, wait a second, what is this? These are dolphins? It's kind of cool.
the newest spectacle. Dolphins arrive at the pool.
Animal music, man.
Yeah. The one thing that, you travel obviously a lot and you're talking about it, and obviously, Moombahton very much inspired by all of that. And you've talked about it in the past, and so has Diplo. There's kids all over this world right now somewhere making the next Moombahton.
Yeah.
Creating the next evolution of EDM.
Yeah.
And I know you're inspired by people like that.
Absolutely. I mean, it goes like when trap EDM became like the big thing, and that's when Flosstradamus did that original Dawn remix for the Major Lazer project, and I remember that blew Moombahton out of the water for me personally. And I even remember calling Josh and Kurt and being like, dude, this sounds exactly what it sounded like when I found Moombahton. Like, this sounds like that next big thing, and it literally became that next big thing. And
crazy.
so there definitely is some kid that's going to make a remix to some Diplo song or some, Tiesto song or who knows who. Or it's, Skrillex has been gone for a long time. He may come back with like the next craziest thing possible, because he's always been a crazy, amazing innovator as well.
Is it innovation that is stimulated from oneself, or is it innovation that is sparked by others' work,
Others' work.
inspiration?
I think it's either or. Personally, for myself, it's other people's work, or it's it'll be subconscious, where like I'll be walking probably somewhere and I'll hear a noise from a bus or something like that, and I may not even think that I heard something, but then all of a sudden the idea will spark in your head, or you'll be listening to some other song and then all of a sudden you have that, because that definitely happens.
I get that.
Yeah.
And it can even hit you in delayed.
Yeah. And especially when I'm taking a shower. I don't know why, but whenever I'm taking a shower, I have like the best ideas possible.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Has this been like consistently in every shower you've ever had?
Yes. Yeah.
Ah, so it's a shower thing.
It's a shower thing.
Not
Maybe
like
it's
a
your naked
specific
body.
shower.
It's not my naked body. I don't look down.
Why?
I've never looked down. Look, man.
I can't look down. My
I don't wanna
stomach's too big, but I get it. But why? Why?
No, I'm just kidding. I look down all the time.
To remind
Make
yourself
sure
it's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking good.
Doing well
Same.
today.
Yeah.
Pat yourself on the back.
I'm glad I shaved. It looks bigger.
Oh, it really does. Gives you an extra inch.
No, but in the shower, I've had the best. When I used to do Snapchat a lot for like Snapchat stories or for Instagram stories or whatever it is, whenever it's like me making a story with my piñata Gerald or whatnot, like I've always had better ideas in the shower. I'm like, oh, I should do that. That would be really funny. It's always those type of ideas. And then I've had some music ideas, but it's mostly for anything that's like in comedy stuff that I want to do.
The shower.
Well, it's probably because
Yeah.
you're in the shower. There's nothing there to distract you. You don't have a phone or technology.
Yeah,
You're just
I
thinking weird
know.
thoughts in your head.
I wish I could like. I wish I personally could put my phone down a little bit better and not think about it and like let my brain go free instead of like, because if you do it, you still have that in the back of your head. Like, man, I wonder if I missed a message.
It's crippling. I
Yeah,
can't,
it's crippling.
Being away from my phone means I'm thinking about my phone, and I don't know which is more unhealthy: thinking about it or using it obsessively.
I think that's a good question.
Yeah.
Because then your thoughts are preoccupied with that.
and you can't even.
But
break
it's true.
free.
When you're in the shower, I don't know why. I don't think about my phone in the shower.
Neither do I.
I think about washing every crevice possible, and
You
then
have a task.
and comedy jokes. Maybe my body's just really funny to me.
That could be it.
the more you get to
That'd be
know
a good
yourself.
joke.
Yeah, not just to you, dude.
Well, actually, when you think of somebody like you, so you're either usually making music or you're gaming a lot. So you're
Yeah.
always with technology.
I am.
So-
Yeah. Wow. That sucks.
Sorry.
What a realization.
No,
sorry
that is.
to bring that up.
That's. I don't consider me like when I'm at my computer. I'm actually really good about forgetting my phone, and that's when I'll actually get pissed off if my phone rings too much. If I'm in an idea and I'm working on it, like, man, if Jordan texts me, dude, I like. There's a certain point where I will actually get mad for no reason, where it's like it's not even her doing anything wrong. It's just me being like, God, stop texting me because I'm working. Like, and I'll just trying to finish something. And even with Snapchat stories, that's I when I used to do those a lot. Like if anyone would call me and I'd be filming, because I just go when I'm in it. I need to go with the train of thought. Like I'm horrible. My schedule during the day is I wake up if I'm going to go work on music, I wake up at 9. I make breakfast at 9:20, and I start work right at 10, and I sit at my desk all the way until 8 o'clock or 6, and work straight through. I will not do anything else. I will not talk to anybody else, and I will just sit there in the project and just try to like push myself. Because I feel like if you listen to something enough and you hate it enough, you'll change it to something better, or it'll become that.
Interesting.
It's weird.
So will you not leave a song unfinished?
Oh no, I'll definitely leave a song unfinished. But like, for instance, the Cardi B one, I think there's like 19 files of that remix that I did, and it took until the 19th one to be the final, which is completely different than every single other one.
Whoa.
And there was other versions where I thought it was fine, and then it turned out I was like, no, this isn't it.
Do you start over completely, or do you
No. I'll just start like
edits?
reintroducing stuff or deleting certain sections or trying something else, and then being like, oh, this is perfect for this section. Let me fix this.
And do you run it by nobody else? Is it just you?
I'll probably start sending on like the 5th demo, just because I don't want. I have this thing where I'll bounce it to MP3, and then I'll listen to it in my car. I'll go and drive aimlessly because I love doing car tests, and I'll like drive to the beach or something like that. And I'll listen to it a bunch of times through, and usually at that time I'll have enough notes on what to change where I'll go in and change it, and then something through those change will kind of hit the domino over, and then all of a sudden it starts spreading out, and then finally you'll be like, oh wait, I'm getting close, and I'll keep doing that until I can finally listen to it all the way through and not
Without a note.
without nitpicking anything. There is one thing that I messed up that's like a very producer thing, and it was like I left a sub on this kick where the sub shouldn't have been, and that's the only thing when I play it I get pissed off
I
about.
can't believe you did that.
I'm pissed.
How many other songs do you have that you listen to and you're like, they should have been different?
That's a good question. There's definitely stuff from my old album. I think like the only song that I wouldn't have changed is Love in the Middle of a Firefight with Brendon Urie, but there's other ones like We Make It Bounce with Major Lazer. There's like a bunch of like producer stuff that I would have done where it was like making the kicks louder, using a different sub. There's a lot of stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it hard for you to listen to?
No, because it was only in the beginning.
Got
It's
it.
only the beginning section of that song where it pisses me off.
So that you just you play from the middle?
I do. I actually put in a different drum beat to mix in. I'm not even joking. On the
the
live
set,
stuff.
it's for
yeah,
you.
Yeah, exactly.
cool.
But it's all producer stuff. Like I bet if I played you of an old version of We Make It Bounce, or I bet you if I played you the original We Make It Bounce and then the version that I would want to change it to, you'd probably be like, I don't understand what's different about them.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
it's just nitpicking stupid things because I hate myself. That's why.
But you also have the ear. Like I don't have the ear. Like can you?
But you don't. There is a point where the ear is a bad thing to have. Like, and Porter Robinson has talked about this all the time, and he even changed it in his music where he's like, I used to be so nitpicky about getting the perfect kick, getting the perfect this. Now I'm actually more interested in just having the vibe completely right. It doesn't matter if it's mixed correctly or anything. I want to make sure that this sounds like, that it has a soul.
It's not technical.
Exactly. And that's where you can really mess up, because then someone won't hear that soul in it, because it is music made on a computer, and there's a certain point where you could make something sound too computery and people won't want to listen to it.
It breaks it.
Exactly.
Computers don't have souls, guys.
They don't. They have just zeros and ones.
Poppy has a soul.
Okay.
Do you know Poppy? She's a computer.
Oh wait, okay, I know Poppy. Yeah. I did a video with her a long time ago.
So you know Poppy?
Yeah, I do.
She's a character.
I mean, I've met her. She's
interesting.
I don't want to throw her under the bus, because if she would, we'd find out she's not a computer.
Whoa. She would bleed?
I'm just kidding. She's a computer.
Wire spell.
She's a computer. Everyone calm down.
Do you ever see people like Calvin Harris or Diplo working with these big name artists like the Arianas and Justins and think, I should do that, and then I can get played on the radio a lot?
Man. I mean, doesn't my album kind of show that I didn't do that?
You didn't, but I'm saying, like, if you wanted to create a huge, like, massive hit with like an easier hit, maybe.
Where's the integrity, bro?
I see what you mean. I understand what you're saying.
Sam Smith on a song.
I understand what it is. There is. I think Taylor Swift was kind of the person that started this, because she did it on her tour, where she brought out,
collaborations
every night. Now, when you go to Coachella or anything like that, if you don't bring a person out,
who are you?
Were you even really playing?
No.
Yeah.
I don't believe so.
They actually paint over your name on the billboard.
Exactly. So I think that I always think about that tour, because it stemmed, like, I remember Zed started doing it, and then now there has to be a collaboration with
never connected those dots.
Yeah, with like a big artist. And I always thought it was very weird. And I get it though, because it's just like, it's a little bit of an easier push. So there is sometimes when I will see that and I'm like, man, I wish I could do that. I wish I could get that. Because sometimes you go to those artists and they're like, yeah, let's totally work. Like I went to Ozuna to work on a song, and we were about to do it, and then he changed his number. I'm not even joking. Also, it was very hard to talk. He does not speak a lick of English, so we were using Google Translate to each other, and like,
he's probably like, this isn't worth it.
Yeah.
Or you could have insulted him and didn't know.
I could have.
Yeah.
Like, yo, this song is doo-doo, let's go. And he's like, wait, why is this guy saying it's piece of
How cool is that for you, though, to connect with human beings and have your first language really be music? Like, the only common language you share is music.
It's awesome. It's so cool when someone understands the music that I make and understands, like, oh yeah, I know how to sing on this. Like, Jarena was one of the most inspiring artists to work with. Her family is like jazz musicians.
Cool.
And she comes from that side, and then she just knows how to make dance music. She's like, oh yeah, dance music is just like, let's do a little verse right here, and then let's repeat something really well. And I'll try to repeat something that's like really catchy.
But can you hear her jazz influence in it?
I can just hear that she knows how to do structured dance music or structured pop dance music, She's just really smart with that. And she understands how songs are set up. Like, I think there's a lot of artists that don't understand, like, here's the verse, here's the, I mean, they do, but they don't.
Yeah.
Like, this is 4 bars. This is 4 bars. We need to do this many more bars. Like, never mind. I'm not going to talk about it.
No, Wow. What a...
Well, no. I mean, it wasn't bad. This is actually a good thing. Like, because usually with rappers, you only get a certain amount of you if you're working with them, or if you're not working with them, actually, like if you're just going after lyrics, you'll get a certain amount of lyrics,
and that's it. Did somebody give you way more than you needed because they didn't know?
It was when I was in the studio with Archangel. Okay. I cut a whole verse because I didn't realize he had gone on for so long. Or I think I made him go on.
So how do you tell me you're about to cut a verse to his rap and the whole story's different?
Oh, he was fine. No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Got it.
I actually made it. That
made it better?
That song is, it's explicit, so you can kind of You can cut it wherever it is.
We can
and
lose some stuff.
People kind of understand what's still happening.
You said in a recent video, you said throw out your turntables because no one uses them anymore.
Oh man, this is the bane of my existence. Yeah. Well, I'm saying I am a dance music producer and DJ. If you want to go rock a club in Vegas, yeah, go rock a club with turntables. I'm just saying it's like a person that's like, oh man, I only shoot on film. I don't with digital cameras.
I get it.
And you're like, okay, well, there's no more dark rooms anymore. Like I used to be, I learned how to process film in a dark room. And then the year after I learned that, digital came out. So there was a lot of people that were doing the same thing. So for me, it's more like, look, if you have the option, I would try to learn how to DJ on CDJs like you were on turntables. Because in the end, turntables may not be here. They're going to make a CDJ that is exactly like vinyl, and you're going to hate trying to transfer to it. It happens with everything. With Ableton, when a new update comes out and some person's like, oh man, I'm only staying on Ableton 9. You're going to get stuck in the past, and then your music isn't going to be as good because you're not going to be able to do as many things to audio or to MIDI. It's with everything.
It's discomfort and fear of change.
Exactly.
That like really affects people in so many different facets of life.
And that's I watch Diplo all the time, and he is the best person with that. He has the least ego about letting go of that, or that's finding a lot of the new artists that people are like hating on. Like I remember Ray Shremmerd. I loved them. They got so much unsolicited hate for no reason, and everyone said that they're one-hit wonders. Okay.
Look at them now.
Where's all those woodworkers now? I bet they freaking love Ray Shremmerd. Mm-hmm. Black Beatles, like that's insane.
Well, but yeah, Diplo also put Lil Xan on a song. He put Designer on a song.
Yep.
That's what's cool about him. Like, yes, he will work with the big artists like Justin Bieber and Dua Lipa.
Exactly.
But he'll also take the mumble rappers, as people like to call them, and he'll like, I'll do a song with them. He doesn't care.
Which the one common thread from talking to people like yourself, DJs and producers, just again, another realization in this moment, could be off, but the one common thread between all of you, Diplo, Tiesto, Martin, I mean, you have a grasp on culture, right? You have an understanding of the now while you're able to understand half a step ahead. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, you have to.
But that's also why you can forever change, and Tiesto will always have a hit when he's 97 years old, right?
So true.
It's honest.
It's insane.
But he knows what people want today. He knows what people are doing, and he has an idea of where they could be going.
And Tiesto he's very good at going to young kids to find out the new stuff. And he doesn't have an ego about it. He is one of the nicest dudes I've ever met. That guy has a smile on his face 24/7. And he is so nice to everyone. He is not mean. He will go to any new artist and listen to their songs. That's what you have to be. You can't become an artist that is so like, I'm better than everybody. I don't need anybody. I'm the best, period, done. Bleh.
He came to talk to us, and I was like, all right, Tiesto's your shit, all right.
You really can't do anything on your own. And it's the mumble rap thing with Diplo. Like, he obviously saw something in these kids, and he saw a trend that was forming, and he was seeing the next generation of what rap music is going to look like and then sound like.
He's so good at that.
It's cool. But even you with Fortnite, like, and Vine and all these other things.
You're so cool, bro.
You're on culture, man. You really are. You got your finger on it.
You're like the cool uncle, you know?
I try to be.
Are you guys going to release music under Dilpo?
I really want to. We were actually supposed to make music for that, but we were so busy that we didn't get to. So I do really want to. So I think we're going to try to work on some stuff for sure.
That's cool.
Yeah.
When did you,
That's cool.
That's cool.
When did you finish Wut Wut in its entirety?
I think almost maybe 6 or 8 months ago, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. Like got them all figured out, and then was like, all right, I need to finish the mixes on them.
So you had all the songs cut?
Yeah, I think all the songs were like finished about where they're all mixed and mastered. I want to say March. Was it April?
Got it.
March or April was like album turned in, gave it to the DSPs and been. But I had finished most of the stuff at the beginning of the year and was like choosing which ones that I wanted to be on it, because I knew I didn't want it to be above 12 songs.
How many are you sitting on that are all Spanish?
A lot.
Really?
Yeah. I have a song called Rubio that's with Jarena. I have another one with El Guincho. I have this. What's her name? Oh, I forgot her name.
That's rude.
I know.
Just kidding.
She's from. Where is she from? I think she's from Spain. Oh, man, I have a song with her.
We'll Google it later.
Spain girl.
I'll remember it. Spain girl. Oh man.
Was there a difference in the dialects?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like in
I'm answering
Dominican.
for you. I'm like, yeah, of course there is.
Yeah,
Duh.
she knows. Like in Mexico City, there's like a different way to say "what's up," which is like you could say "que pedo," which means what's that fart. It's really weird. There's a lot of slang where it's like very bizarre.
But do you have to you don't produce differently around it, but
No.
it's all different Spanish cultures making up one album.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's White Boy about?
It's about originally Laura wanted to write about what she hated in these white dudes that she had been dating. She wanted to call it boy. And I was like, look, I don't think we should make a song called boy. I think that term is not going to last. And then I was like, well, how many, like, I was like, what are the guys that you've dated? And she was like, oh, they've all been white. And I was like, well, let's write a song about how much you love white dudes.
That will never go out of style.
Yeah. And so she's like, oh my God, that's such a great idea. And then, of course, I was like, and there can be a double entendre because white boy. And I made up this whole idea for the music video that I wanted to do, but it was, Columbia's trying to get away from, cocaine stuff. So that was kind of like the double entendre that we wanted to go with. And the whole thing was going to be that it was going to be this like, it was going to look like a Calvin Harris-esque music video, these people in love, and like, but they would have like the spicy hot fights that you get into with Latin girls. Ooh. And towards the bridge of the song, they were going to be fighting so crazy, like throwing plates at each other, and then they were going to like fully like grab each other and kiss. And right as they kiss, the next drop would come in, and the dude would just turn into dust. And then she would be like trying to get it all, and then it would smash cut to these cops coming in. And I wanted it to be where they were actually going in on this girl that was a drug addict that thought her boyfriend was real, but it was actually just cocaine.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's deep, bro.
Deep.
Wow.
M. Night Shyamalan.
That's a twist.
I just visualized that whole thing.
Yeah.
And they said no.
No, I said no. I didn't want to. I thought it was a cool idea, but I just didn't want to be insensitive. And I know that there's a lot of people that's like, that's not what we want to represent. And also the song isn't really written about that. So it just was like, let's not make that what the song is. So the music video is really funny because it's just me. Like I'm kind of Where's Waldo in it, and I'm the white dude that she's in love with. It's really funny. It's actually way better than that one because it's not as dark at the end.
It seems like in all your music videos, you just like to dance around in the background.
I love it. It's so much fun.
Wasn't there one where you're like at a grill and there's like somebody,
yes,
and you're just kind of just in the background or something?
Still my favorite music video I've ever done. It was for Need You, and that was, oh my God, that was the best day ever. It was so much fun to shoot that. The whole crew and cast were like the coolest people.
You just do whatever the fuck you want, really.
Yeah,
it's cool.
I love hanging out with my friend Jack Wagner. He's the one that wrote Need You, and we're doing a TV show as well.
Is this a sketch show for MTV?
This is not a sketch. No. This is this show that we made for Go 90.
Okay,
cool. But Go 90 went under, so we got all the rights back to it. So we're figuring out what we're gonna do with it right now.
Look at you, TV mogul.
Yeah,
I'm trying, but it's really funny because it's about social media and like the what would it be? All the little facets of like the Logan Pauls or like the Snapchat people or like it's all the stereotypes of those type of people, and I play the manager that's kind of like this egotistical guy that needs to manage everybody. Like I need to manage, like any person that gets hot, I instantly start managing them. And then what happens is from these people, I forget about them. And then there's this group that I have that starts tarnishing my name. And then I make a social media halfway house that they all have to stay in. And that's the kind of basis of
love it.
Yeah, that's the basis of what it is.
That's funny.
I saw you in on billboards around town here. What was that for?
What was I doing? Oh, wait. Oh, that was for...
You were just on them. It was just you standing in a billboard.
You can be on a billboard, too.
You took a stock image of yourself years ago that just starts reappearing.
Yeah. Just took out billboards for no reason.
Kind of want to do that now.
You should.
I might.
Dude, it gets people famous in this city, and it has for years.
It does. But so what I was on the billboard for was for this show Taskmaster. And it's a really funny show. It was on Comedy Central, and it's like... I lost. If anyone watched it, I lost the whole thing. I came in last place.
Oh.
But you do really odd tasks, like draw this person behind this curtain, and you can only ask them yes or no questions. That's one of them that didn't
that's
make
fun.
it, but it was the
sounds fun.
best time I
Yeah.
have ever had filming anything. Like we would do 8 tasks in the day. It would be from like 7 a.m. till 5 p.m. And I would always go to the producers and be like, dude, I will do any other ones. Let me know. I am having the best time ever.
Are you on the show as a celebrity, or
Yeah.
are you just?
I'm
okay.
on it as Dillon Francis, the DJ and music producer.
Wow.
As
So
myself.
the other Dillon Francis
No,
who
no, no.
showers, doubts himself, and then
not the cool guy.
creates vines. Got it.
Not the I'm more of like the relaxed version of myself.
Cool.
Can you quickly tell the story of Gerald, like when you adopted him,
Yes.
how he came about?
When you
Okay.
adopted him.
So I went in for a meeting.
By the way, Gerald's your pinata.
My pinata that I make stories with all the time and he ruins my life, and he has parties at my house without me. And
What a douche.
what a douche. But I had gone in for this meeting with this company. I'm not gonna say who it was, but they fulfilled my writer, and one of the things on my writer was a pinata. And as I was about to leave, the guy goes, "Hey, do you want your writer?" There's also Bruce Willis photos on there too. I still have those.
I love that. It's like Airheads.
3 of them.
Have you ever seen the movie Airheads?
Oh hell
When
yeah!
they write the weird.
The best.
Yeah, oh yeah.
What kind of Bruce Willis photos?
It was
are
all
you-
from like anything from 1990 or below.
So you give an era, and
Yeah.
do they have to be framed?
I say action stars, but usually they always get me Bruce Willis.
Got it.
And I'm fine with that.
Who wouldn't be?
Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, I'll take the pinata home. So I take it home, and I have this weird crevice in my house that I don't understand. Like it has an Ethernet cable, a cable for a TV, and then 2 outlets.
It's probably
for
meant
this-
for a television.
No,
No, it's like
no, because it's
real tiny. It
yeah,
can only
it's the
fit
tiny-
Gerald in there.
Yeah,
Oh, what?
yeah. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense because why does the Ethernet cable need to be in there when it's near 2 doors? Like, it's just ridiculous. So, anyways, he fit perfectly in there. And then the next day, I think I was just going to the fridge and I opened up Snapchat and I was looking for something to eat. And I looked at the pinata and I'm just like, huh. And I just started screaming, "Aren't you happy, Gerald? Aren't you happy? Aren't you happy, Gerald? Gerald!" And from that, it turned into that. Like it literally took its own thing of me. And then after I did that, I started doing more and more. And then all of a sudden, I started making stories where he was having parties at my house, and then like having seances and turning into a different creature.
That's fun.
And I don't know. It was just like. It was so fun. It was when Snapchat was like at the peak of what it was, where like it was. I don't know. It was so instant because they hadn't done the what is it? The
Memories?
algorithmic. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that and the algorithmic feed.
Oh, gotcha.
I think it was like so instant. People were on there because they're like, "Oh, this is real life. This
Yeah.
is really what's happening." Because on Instagram,
Filter,
I think
baby.
even it's the filter, and also you're saving all your videos, and then you're like going home and be like, "Well, do I look good? I do." Okay. Let's upload this.
What's that?
When
That
you're-
is also exactly what I do in bed. To the T. I look at myself and I go, it's going up.
You got to be a fan of yourself for others to join the fan club. Okay?
Yeah, that's it. I'm just kidding. I don't do that. Now I'm going to go home and do that.
Doing
with
that,
myself. Yeah.
When you were making content for Vine and Snapchat, was that taking your creative energy away from music?
No, if anything, that was like helping everything because I was being so creative.
Got it.
I was in it. And also those videos for me, they didn't take that long. A lot of people were like, "Man, you have so much time on your hands." I'd literally spend an hour just sitting there because, as I was saying, like I go through it really fast. I don't really like think. I
you
never
just
thought
do.
about it. I just did it.
Yeah.
I just kept going and going and going, and then I would finish a story and then be like, "All right, cool, let's go work on music now."
Wow. Dillon Francis, story of social improv.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's going to be a masterclass one day.
Oh, man. I'm gonna be a teacher.
A professor.
I'm gonna be a professor.
Son, look up to the stars.
Oh my God. NYU,
Frank.
here I come.
Louis, how'd the Nicki Minaj sample come about?
That I just heard out of nowhere. Like,
Really?
Yeah, I got a text from my manager saying, don't say anything, but supposedly Nicki Minaj sampled Bun Up the Dance for one of her songs. And I was like, dude, hell yeah, let's go.
Dope.
And then the day before the album came out, they sent me the final of it. And I was like, this sounds so cool. They don't. I mean, I don't have any say on it. They just ask if they can use the sample, and then my publisher is like, "Yeah, sure, pay us this," and that's it.
And then you never talked to Nicki Minaj ever.
She never even talked to me. She just retweeted me, and then I said, "Yo, you want to work on a song?" And she didn't answer me.
But
See, I'm telling you, it's hard. It's hard.
That's what, maybe these big names don't want to work with you. I guess that's what it is.
That's what it is.
yeah, but it's happening organically
It might
in small steps.
It might be from the comedy stuff.
Yes.
I always think about that. The comedy stuff might throw off a lot of people. Like, luckily G-Eazy wanted to work with me, but when I brought a lot of the music video ideas that I wanted to do with him.
Could you pitch us the craziest one?
He's probably
Yep,
nope.
I will. I'll tell you one. Oh
probably
man,
love
I
that
shouldn't though,
cooking
because
one.
actually, no, I can't say it. But I will say that in the music video, we wanted G-Eazy to die, and there to be a scene where I was looking up to him in the sky, kind of like Fast and the Furious style, where I was
Nice.
like, "I'm gonna do this for you."
And then you just
I wanna
replace G-Eazy with Machine Gun Kelly in the music video.
And he's there, G. But I'd sent him a bunch of ones that I wanted to do that were like, very much in the comedy space, and it's different for a lot of pop artists. They need to maintain the way that they are perceived.
Yeah, he has a
And for me,
serious vibe.
yeah, I mean, I talk about in my pants all the time, dude. Let's go.
Yeah, we talked about it last time.
The last
we saw
Yeah, I
you.
interview was
know.
all about
Remember that?
Yeah.
But when you're pitching creative ideas, I mean, they're not coming from a place of, I think this is going to hurt your character.
No, absolutely not. But it's just more of like, I don't like. There's a comfortability thing, and there's also like, it's hard for them to see the vision that I have in my head.
Yeah.
So that's why it just makes it a little hard. Like, I bet if I went to Nicki Minaj, if we made a song and was like, hey, like, I want to do this. If I want to do Need You, she'd be like, I don't know what the you're talking about, dude. No, I don't want to do that. I want to look sexy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. Like, I don't want to look sexy.
So you think you may?
You could be sexy, I think.
You've tried.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
So you think you've created a
I've tried.
reputation or a name where people are like, he doesn't take it all too seriously, and we don't want to ruin our brands.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
I think that could definitely happen sometimes.
The last time I saw you was at the Camila Cabello concert.
I was pretty drunk.
You were thriving.
I was thriving. Yeah, that's a great word. I was thriving.
It's a great way to put
I was
it.
having a blast.
You showed up ready to have a good time.
Yes.
And we started that night, ended it not together because I saw the photo of that moments ago. But
What happened?
it's a
It's
spectacle.
me eating cheese fries, and the cheese is hanging from my mouth.
Yum.
Yeah.
And it stressed me out. You're wearing this beautiful, expensive shirt that cost a freaking fortune.
Nothing got on it.
Okay, good.
I'm a good drunk.
Dude,
I take care of my clothes,
Dude.
not myself.
But the clothes,
Yeah.
they're worth more than himself.
Yeah.
take care of what has value. What were you doing there? Did you want to do a song with her? Were you trying to recruit her for what?
I made a remix for her songs Real Friends, and I love that song. I thought that song was so good. So I just wanted to also see what her performance is like. It's always good to go to one of those shows and see what someone else is doing for their live shows.
Yeah.
Just like, going to the Kanye. I mean, I didn't go to the Kanye show, but I watched a bunch of videos of that. I'm trying to think of what other shows I've gone to that like where I went to go. Actually, yeah. When I did see Kanye, I saw him at the it was for the Yeezus concert, and that was incredible.
With the stage above the crowd?
Yeah. No, not that one.
That was
that was the one where Yeezus was the one where he had that huge LED block behind him and like the crazy stage. And that one, I remember seeing it on pictures, and I was like, this sucks, man. I don't know. And then I went to it, and I was like, oh, I get it. I get it now. You have one. He has hit after hit after hit, and two, up close, that actually does look awesome.
There's something about live music and the presentation that will never get old.
No, it's totally different when you go and see it with that stage, with whatever. Like even for my show, I have a lot of visuals that go with songs, so it creates a whole different. It's almost like watching a music video when you come to my shows.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I went to go see BTS last night, and it was kind of similar. Like it felt like
I
a
bet.
very live music video. Even the way they shot the physical performance on stage.
I would love to see that.
They're here until Sunday. Like
Where are they playing?
Staples Center.
For how much? Where can you buy?
I mean, I can get you tickets, but I'm sure you can get yourself tickets.
I don't know anybody from BTS. I'll try.
I mean, if you need help.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm down.
You didn't
I
know-
would
you know,
I would
Ross tickets,
honestly
that's
love.
fine.
I would love to go see that because I have never. I think that would be just such an incredible experience.
It's sick. It's really crazy. But I don't know. It got me thinking. You know, obviously talking about the visuals. It's really a spectacle. Is that? I mean, it goes back to the universal language thing. That's what music is.
Yep.
You've worked with the Spanish culture. Would you tap into K-pop? Would you tap into any other languages?
I don't really have a desire to tap into K-pop. I think my stuff is more like in Latin America. Just like I love reggaeton. Like I love the Bali funk stuff that's from like Brazil, and I think I'm kind of in the same zone as Diplo, where we get really inspired from that type of stuff, or like Atlanta hip hop.
Got it.
Like going to Atlanta and listening to the radio stations out there is so crazy and different. Like, you know, they had the Stanky Leg playing before it came over here, like 2 years, because that's when I used to work in Atlanta. So it was like, it's so interesting to hear the artists that break out of there, where it's like, oh, it's kind of like Australia. Remember that Gautier song?
Dude,
that song didn't break out for 2 years from Australia, and then all of a sudden it was huge. Yeah,
massive. Yeah.
So it's so interesting to I think my zone is kind of like, you know, Australia style music, which is like very summery, which is like coming over out of my songs, and then like Get Low and then this album.
We're obviously riding the genre that you're bringing back, but do you think there's going to be a sound that's on the cusp? Like, do you think, like, what's coming a year from now, a year and a half from now, and do you think that far out in terms of sound?
I tried it. I mean, yeah, we definitely try to, because I mean, you just always want to try to be working on something new. Right now, I feel like it's kind of stagnant, but I do feel like there's like a huge house revival happening. Like old 90s house, I feel like is really going to come back.
Cool.
That's what I feel like.
Word.
And how do you 2018 that one?
Start working on it now.
Do you think albums are dead?
No.
He's putting one out. They better not be.
Yeah, I hope not.
Well, you put a whole album out and then the singles rise and they live their own life.
I do think that in terms of like like when you look at it for like streaming success, where it's like billions of numbers and blah 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 blah, I think that they're dead. I think in terms of fans that want to hear it, they definitely want a body of work. I think my fans especially. Like, I felt kind of bad just releasing single after single, because I know that my fans, like when I released this mixtape is Fire, it did really, really well for me, because they got to sit with all the songs and kind of choose which one they gravitated towards most, and then would hear at the shows. Or when for me as a DJ, when you give single by single, it kind of alienates some of them, where they're like, I can't get into this one. I'll wait for the next one, but kind of bummed.
Makes
so
sense.
I think with an album, it helps, since my sound is so all over the place all the time, that it helps with some person to be like, oh, okay, cool, that's my song from there, and I'm happy with it.
That's science. No, that makes a ton of sense.
Smart.
It really does. Because you're not necessarily playing a singles game, and a great song can show up, like you said, a great song earlier with Gautier, a great song can show up on the radio at any moment in time.
Even
matter.
I love it. The
McDonald's theme
Iconopop.
song. Oh.
Yeah.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Man, you have a good voice. You sound just like Justin Timberlake.
I'm being
Nailed it.
There you go. We're a team. We got this.
I miss Iconopop now. Thanks.
Oh man, that song was. Then that was a crazy one too. Also, my song "Get Low."
Oh my
that
gosh.
song wasn't a platinum record until it happened on Fast and the Furious.
Would you say that song is? Would you say that's your most life-changing song?
In terms of what?
I mean, status, money. I mean, like.
I had always been. I'm a touring artist, so for me, making money off of music has always been just a plus. Like I tour constantly, so that's where I make most of my money. It was like, I think that's where I make like 70% of my money or something like that.
That song can change everything in that touring game, right?
Yeah, but I still tour at the same amount.
But did your rate rise?
Yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah, you're right. It definitely does change a lot. I've still just always been in the same, mindset of just having fun making music, and that's it. It's because that song too was never. It's funny that song became such a big song, because no one ever thought that it was gonna be that.
Which is crazy.
It's so weird.
Dude, that production is so hooky and catchy.
Thank you.
you move, you feel it.
It's really awesome that it did. You're right. It does help with like getting booked at festivals. I bet that's one of the reasons why I got booked at Coachella probably 2 years ago or something like that, was because Get Low became such a big song.
It's a mainstream song.
Yeah.
And if somebody doesn't necessarily know you by name, you can play that hook,
That's
piece
true.
for them, they'll know it.
Okay, you're right. That's true. That's very true. It does help with having the story that's there without someone knowing my face or my name or my social media. It gives that other story of like, oh yeah, I know Dillon Francis now. I love that song. You're right. It definitely did change a lot. I don't know.
Sorry, I just took...
No, you're right. You maybe like just realize, like, because I don't ever think about that stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then when I do, it's like, oh man, I'm really grateful for that. Like, truthfully, I am grateful that because I went in to meet Rachel, who was doing she was picking the songs for it, and she had Get Low in there as like, hey, this is a hold. We're trying to find a different song. Do you have anything else? And I gave her the rebirth that DJ Snake and I did, and I was like, oh my God, I hope they use it. And then luckily I got the call from Cobalt, and they were like, hey, they're actually going to be using Get Low in the trailer. And it was mind blowing. But I mean, right now I think I'm probably more excited that happened than I was in that moment. Cause I think at that moment I was still just like, all right, cool, sick. I'm going to go make some more music.
Yeah, on to next.
Yeah.
Now look at you, years later, a reflection.
Yeah.
You can look at the whole song differently.
2 years later. Wait, it's probably, 2 or 3. Yeah, 2 years later. Wow.
Time flies, man.
I'm old.
Question, do they give you a private jet every time you perform in Vegas?
No.
You have to fly on a commercial jet?
Yeah.
Oh,
I fly
lame,
Southwest. I fly Wait, so that's funny you bring that up, because I posted a picture a while ago of Southwest, and it's a... No, okay, well, anyways, I posted a picture of Southwest. I'm not going to say what I did to it, but it was really funny because a bunch of kids were like, you're not flying on Southwest. I take Southwest every time I go to Vegas.
It's a good
every
airline.
time. It is so cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't want to take a private. I only take a private jet if I have to. That's the only time I do. It's if I need to make it to another show.
Yeah.
Like I went up to Seattle for this video game thing for Destiny. And then after the Destiny thing, I had to go and play in Vegas, so it made sense to take a jet from there.
But will the hotel send it to you? Because they have like a couple.
No.
You do it yourself.
Do it myself, yeah.
I've never met someone who said, I don't like private jets.
I love private jets. I just don't want to take them all the time.
They're expensive, man.
You'll ruin flying commercial for yourself. And then you have to pay all the time.
And then once you fly PJs constantly, then you're
going to see me on the streets. Hey man, you remember Get Low?
With your turntable.
How about you get low and come on, give me some money because this is getting low.
Dillon Francis.
Oh, man.
I enjoy you a lot. September 28th
Thank you, man.
is What? It's
Yes.
What?
the only thing a part of the album that's not in Spanish is the name.
Yes. Well, no, then also the song White Boy with Laura. That's in Spanish and English.
Got it.
And I just want to say, just go listen to it. Listen to it all the way through. Even if you don't listen to music in Spanish, listen to it all the way through and then make your stance on it. I had fun making it, and that's all I want someone to do. Is just that. That's all I asked for.
Cool.
That's not a lot.
That's not a lot.
Is there a song when you listen back to the album you're like, this one could be a hit? Do you think like that?
Yeah, there's two. White Boy, and then this song No Pare with Joshua.
Cool.
Those are my two favorite songs that I've made to date.
Whole career.
Yeah. No Part is like when it's funny, I'll step away from the record and then I'll come back and listen to it, and it's so enjoyable for me to listen to it. And there's like, because there is that point where sometimes when you go back to listen to a record and you're like, oh, because I've had this record for so long that I'll go back and be like, oh man, I wish I could change that now. And I've gone back to that and been like, man, so excited for people to hear that one.
That's a great feeling.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I feel great.
Listen to What differently now
Yes.
after hearing this conversation.
Yes.
Dillon Francis, you are a good man.
I love you guys. It was so amazing to talk. I love having great conversations.
Can we come to your
And you
house
guys
one
are-
day?
Yes.
Great.
Cool.
Anytime you want, come and swim. I'm getting the pool heater fixed. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. Just let us know when it's fixed, though. I don't want to
Yes,
sit in a cold pool.
it's very cold.
All right, yeah.
It is sadly very cold.
Yeah,
I
certain
think-
fall's coming around.
I thank you so much for spending time with us.
Thank you.
Our whole relationship started with Dan smelling you and you
Yes.
smelling Dan.
Yeah.
And
We were just smelling each other.
Look, we were having a great time. We're We're gonna smell each other later too.
Yeah.
You do whatever you guys want to do.
It's our thing. Just let us be.
We're gonna smell each other. We're gonna eat some Kit Kats, and we're gonna have a great day.
Wow, this is exciting. I was gonna try to invite myself on your private jet, but now I know
I don't
that
have
it's a
one.
Southwest jet.
No, he has to
Guys.
get one every time.
Come on, Burbank. Let's go. I fly out of Burbank, Southwest.
I
Let's go.
want to come see you in Vegas,
Dude, anytime you want to come, it's on me.
Wow.
All right, we're gonna
I'll
come.
handle
Southwest flight too.
I'll handle the Southwest ticket. Don't worry.
Can we share a bed in your hotel room?
Yeah. I have a couch.
Oh, sweat. All right.
Yeah, we can get
Pull-out
a
couch?
Well, no, it's a regular couch, but we can get a bunch of cots.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
I don't want things to get a little uncomfortable in the room, but I gotta acknowledge something that I've just picked up now for a third time coming out of Dan. You brought up the fact that Brendon Urie, I think
hot.
you said, quote, so hot.
Yeah,
or so
Brendon
hot.
Urie is hot.
Yeah.
He's great looking.
A beautiful man. Very rarely hear that out of Dan. And then I heard him make another, almost like an advance towards you.
I asked him if I could share his bed. Yeah.
Well, then there was one in between Brendon Urie and sharing of the bed.
Which one was that?
I'll get back to you. I forget what it is, but it jumped out.
We'll get Brendon Urie because he's from Vegas. So we'll get
Yes.
Brendon Urie.
Wow.
We'll have a sleepover.
And
We'll
then
sit
to
on
top
both
it all off, we'll take a shower together and think of weird things.
That's amazing.
Oh my God. We'll have the best idea.
Ever!
It's really going to be quite a tripod. The three
I'm
of you.
ready.
You gotta
I'm
get that
ready.
puppet
That's what they
too.
call us. They call us the tripod.
The tripod. Oh, watch out. The tripod's coming.
The visual in my head is, I don't know how I feel actually about the visual in my head.
I feel like I see what your visual is.
What are you thinking?
I like it.
not gonna
What?
say.
September 28th.
I'm in. I just want to be there and watch.
Go and listen to the album. Dillon Francis, you're a gem.
You
my
guys
friend.
are gems too.
Gem.
Thank you.
Dillon Francis. I really hope you enjoyed that conversation. If you did, please subscribe and also check out our podcast. There's a link in the description, and also comment and like and do things. Other interviews are on the screen somewhere, so click them. Thanks for watching.